Is low-fat or low-carb better for weight loss? Comparing apples to Apple Jacks. Part of the problem is that the terms low-fat and low-carb are used somewhat indiscriminately. Diets described as low-carb in the medical literature might get as little as 10% of calories from carbohydrates or as much as 35% of calories. The same goes for low-fat diets. But an even bigger problem is that categorizing diets simply by how much carbohydrate or fat they contain is like trying to categorize novels simply by how many nouns and verbs they contain. You can follow a low-carbohydrate diet and eat bacon cheeseburgers without the bun, of course, every night for dinner, or your low-carb menu could feature grilled salmon and avocado. You might be getting most of your non-carbohydrate calories from fat, or you might be eating lots of protein. Similarly, on a low-fat diet, you could start every day with sugary breakfast cereal, topped with skim milk, of course, or you could sit down to steel-cut oats and fresh berries for breakfast. You might be getting very little protein or quite a bit. These uncontrolled variables could have a significant impact on things like blood chemistry and fat loss, not to mention your appetite, digestion and energy. Same foods, different proportions. In this study, which involved 44 overweight men, the participants ate more or less the same foods but in different proportions. One group held carbohydrates to just 10% of calories, while the other group ate slightly more than half their calories from carbohydrates. However, both groups were instructed to completely avoid added sugars, refined carbohydrates, and processed foods. Protein consumption was held constant between the two groups, as was the amount of omega-6 and omega-3 fats in the diet. Although the low-carb group ate a lot more fat than the balanced diet group, both were getting their fats from the same foods: butter, cheese, meat, and eggs. Finally, both groups ate around a pound of vegetables a day. Forget high and low, go whole. In other words, you don't necessarily have to give up carbs or fat to lose weight and improve other health indicators. Just give up the junk food. Of course, you'll also have to eat fewer calories if you want to see a change on the scale. But you may find that replacing highly processed foods with whole foods ends up reducing your calorie intake automatically, and relatively painlessly. A recent study found that Americans on average get more than half their calories from ultra-processed foods, meaning ready-to-eat meals and snacks, convenience foods, and beverages, accounting for about 1,200 calories and about 65 grams of added sugar per day. If you were to replace most or all of those chips, fries, sweets, fast foods, and soft drinks with whole or minimally processed foods, I bet you'd have a very hard time getting it to add up to anywhere near 1,200 calories. If that's too big a shift to make all at once, start by replacing half the processed food in your diet with whole foods. See what happens. Thank you for watching.